Centre stage, the ringmaster of the Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales, Mr. John Bennett, OAM, and he will now present and salute to our President. The salute now taken, that will now mean that the Grand Parade commences. And we welcome out into the arena, and we'll be seeing them a little bit later on this afternoon, a representation of the New South Wales Mounted Police. And the New South Wales Mounted Police are in fact, can you believe, the longest running mounted police unit here in Australia, and it is great to welcome them here to our Grand Parade today. And of course their musical ride will be coming up a little bit later on this afternoon, and we look forward to presenting those as well. And then we start to see some of our members of the Man from Snowy River, and great to have that production, which will be on at 7:30 in the evening.
That's right, Tim. When I woke up this morning here at the showground, I looked out of my window and all of a sudden there was an abundance of alpacas because they've just started the breed judging here today at Sydney Royal Easter Show. They've been a growing part of our show every year since 1991, but they did start here in the agricultural scene in New South Wales in 1988, and they were first imported from the United States to the highlands of New South Wales. A little known fact about the 336 alpacas that first came out to Australia was that they were smuggled out of Chile in 1858, and they grazed on what we now know as Sydney.
Something a little different. We've never actually done this before, but we have a very talented horsewoman who's been up here in the broadcast box. What a better place to get her that fix of some horses, send her down into the arena. Kate Day, you have a very special young man with you as well.
Thank you very much, dear. This is our last meeting down here, and we get a great perspective on what it's like for all of our competitors. Rodney Crump, and he is the star of the Man from Snowy River performance, and he's been doing it now for a number of years, and you are a superstar, Rodney. You're also one of the nicest folks I know, and you might be able to help me out here on my first ever interview here on horseback.
Well, hello, Lucky. Thanks for saying nice things, Kate.
So, tell me about this horse, because he has been chosen specifically to suit the poem that Banjo Patterson wrote. What were the requirements?
Once the show's over, so I need to have him really desensitised, and I have to have his mind right, because it's a big ask, physically and mentally, but lucky enough that he's doing the job for me so far.
And of course the requirement was that he had to have a touch of Timor pony and be 3 parts quite a thoroughbred at least.
Look for the wild brumbies, which we chase every night, but a few more laps and he'll be...
Performance of the last time he was out, he was going flat gallop after some brumbies.
Parts of the Grand Parade together. Stuart Davies, Stu, you are one of the councillors in charge of cattle. Now last week we saw all of our stud beef cattle. We've had a massive changeover, and what do we see now?
So Jim, what we see now are our dairy cattle. So boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, when you go to your supermarket to buy your milk and your butter and your cream and your cheese, these are the cattle that produce that for you. So we have 6 breeds at Sydney Show this year, and it is one of the few remaining to have all 6 recognised dairy cattle breeds here with us in the one show.
So those breeds are?
So we have the Ayrshires, we have the Guernseys, the Jerseys, the Holsteins, the Brown Swiss, and Australia's very own dairy cattle breed, the Illawarras.
I reckon they came from down there on the south coast.
Pretty fair guess.
Now tell me, does a different breed of dairy cow produce a different tasting milk?
Look, the Jersey cows, so they're the ones sort of closest to the Vincent Fairfax stand of volume, where the Holsteins, the black and white ones that you can see, they're known for their volume, their larger production. Typically, you're looking at between about 35 and 40 litres per day per cow.
Well, that is wood choppers, and they tell me that you are an expert on wood chopping.
I'm not, but there are always wonderful competitors like from Tasmania there. That's Arthur Clifford. He's in fact one of the oldest woodchop competitors in the entire world. Over 120 events in his lifetime. And his great-grandson, well, he won the 18...
It was out now. I am trying to find her, but I can't find her anywhere. Kate Day.
I'm here, believe it or not. And I've got an old mate here, and Dave Kelly is one of the famous Kelly boys who are the pickup men in the rodeo. And Kelly is a name that's been associated with Sydney Royal and rodeo since I can remember. Hi.
How are you going today, Kate?
Fine. fine. Now, it's not only you and Pete as the pickup men, but your names are now.
No, but it's always been something enjoyable, the Grand Parade. Ever since we were about 5-year-old, we used to ride the clown ponies out here and then graduated up to having an honest job. But yeah, the Grand Parade and Sydney Show has been a part of our family for probably 60 years, and it's been a great privilege to be a part of, and we actually love the holiday down here.
It is. It's a great time to catch up with people. Now, would you mind just sharing that wonderful story for 100 years? And sometime in the past, it actually wasn't quite as flashy as it is tonight. We didn't have the 8 youths and we didn't have all the rest of it. And I gathered that your uncle was in a bit of a slow spot during the
two clown ponies, and when things got a bit low and a little bit unorganised, it was always a treat to take them out up into the grandstands. But one day the Queen was coming and they rolled the red carpet out for the Queen, and Salt and Pepper thought they'd run up and down the red carpet first, so once again the show was to look carpet out for the new Queen. So yeah, it has changed a little bit.
Thanks very much, Dave.
Thank you, Kate Day. Now, as you see all our exhibits going around here, you can see before the Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales has awarded ribbons. The year the notice was printed in the horse catalogue, standardising colours. In fact, when we first started, red was the first, but today, as you look at the horses, if they have a blue ribbon, they have won their class. If they have a red ribbon, they're second, white, third. A champion sash, that means they're a champion. A purple means they're a best, or they've won their novice or a reserve. And if you see someone with a ring, with a rug and a garland, that means they have just had the best show you could ever ask for, and it is really something to be proud of. Now, Lindsay, we mentioned our
Alpacas and Camden High School near Sydney, and little boys and girls, if you're looking out there and thinking, I'd like to lead an alpaca one day at a grand parade or at a show, well, you can actually try it out down in the Munro Pavilion. They've got a shearing competition set up there and a little leading arena, so you can go in there and lead an alpaca. An interesting fact, actually, Tim.
I love interesting facts.
This one's a cracker, actually. The alpacas have only had their own competition here in recent times, and back in the day they would feature as part of the sheep section or perhaps part of the wool section, and even in the year of 1882 and 1883, alpacas,
which of course we use for wool, for fleece. That's what we grow them for. We also have our stud merino rams that are here for wool as well. And of course, in Australia at the moment, we're in a really amazing period for horticulture and for our agricultural industries, in the fact that we have really strong commodity prices for wool and for fleece. We have strong prices for meat and also for our cropping prices. So it is a really amazing time, but this is the first time we've seen our sheep in the Grand Parade, and early competitions for sheep were hampered by problems associated with the timing of the show. The Easter period is not the best time to show some sheep breeds, particularly merinos. It is most suited to the British breed. So it has been hampered along the way, but they are now well and truly under control, and we see some of the best sheep breeders. And in fact, did you know we've got sheep competitors that have come across all the way from Western Australia? They drove their rams over here to New South Wales to compete at what is the greatest show in the world, the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
Just on the alpacas, did you know?
I didn't know that, really.
Yes, so they are becoming quite a diverse animal, not only for their wonderful fleece, which is so soft, but also now an alpaca for your main course.
Well, we go back to our dairy cattle for a moment, and Stu, we were talking a little bit before. Of course, we know dairy cows make milk. We have the milk barn here where people can go and see cattle being milked each.
Your butter, your cream, your cheeses. Not all cheeses, but certainly your cheddar cheese comes from cow's milk.
I had never even thought of that. Of course, the Streets ice cream, we love that. I had one the other night coming out of the arena. Of course, Streets, one of our partners here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Now, there's something else that we can see down. Isn't that great on the big screen? That's the Kelly boys, the pickup riders, and with the family. Yeah, Mum and Dad, I'm on the big screen. Hi. That's what it's all about, coming out here. 1953 FX Holden, and his plants have been kindly supplied by Swan's Nursery. And today on display in the Flower and Garden Pavilion, there are all sorts of amazing exhibits over there. And we have, am I right in saying, Lindsay Douglas, we actually have a different...
in fact, fact, we have a different species altogether out here on the ground for the third Grand Parade of Sydney Royal.
So people cast their eyes down towards the big screen, just in front of the big screen.
From the dog section here at Sydney Royal, and I wonder, Tim, Stu, are you a big dog person or a small dog person?
Personally, I'm a big dog person.
Yeah, I'm with Tim. I'm a big dog person.
All right. There is one big dog out there. In fact, he's gigantic. He's a Saint Bernard. He's being led there by Martina Butcher, and I think the Saint Bernard was probably most made famous by the Beethoven movie, the dog drooling all over our big screens. But they were famous long before that for something entirely different. They saved lives. Since the 18th century, there were monks who lived on that snowy, dangerous pass, which is called St. Bernard's Pass, which is a route between Italy and Switzerland and the Alps there. And they kept canines to help them on their rescue missions during bad snowstorms. And this is what the breed was originally famous for nearly 200 years. There were about 2,000 people. They were lost children, Napoleon soldiers. They were rescued because of these heroic dogs. They have an uncanny sense of direction, and because they're so big and chubby and furry, they've got a great resistance to the kind one of those. Well, they start off as about a 10-kilo, beautiful little Saint Bernard puppy, and they look pretty manageable, and next minute you've got an 80-kilo or more dog, and sadly they only live sort of 7 to 10 years, but the people that love them dearly, dearly love them. They're also accompanied out here by 2 little pugs, so if you're into small dogs, the pug is a breed of dog that has a wrinkly, short muzzle face and a little curly tail. The breed has a fine, glossy coat. They come in a variety of colours, and they were brought from China to Europe in the 16th century and popularised their phrase that is used about pugs. It's multum in parvo, and it means a little in a lot, and it alludes to the fact that pugs have a remarkable
Capacity. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as the whistle blows, we halt the Grand Parade just for a moment. Chance to grab a photo. We won't keep them standing for too long. Hope you captured that, do you still say that Kodak moment? Captured that moment where you get to what a sight we see here. Once again, please sit with us and do not applaud. I know it looks amazing. We want to say how wonderful it looks, but what an experience. All of our exhibits are now out in the arena, and we had a chance to capture them there. And a person who actually got to be in the photo for once rather than behind the scenes. Kate, Dave, you found someone else to talk to.
I have. Thanks very much, Tim. Well, I'm down here with Coco, and she has been very successful today. And Coco, tell me about your pony.
He's a very nice pony.
What does he like to eat?
He likes to eat carrots.
And tell me about this ribbon. What happened?
I went in my novice and he went really well.
That's so exciting. So is this the best thing you could possibly be doing for these Easter school holidays?
Yeah.
And are you just horse mad? Completely crazy about ponies?
Yeah, I really love them.
And do you think one day you might end up and ride a beautiful big hack like the one riding next to you?
Hopefully.
Fantastic. Well, all the best for the rest of your show. And do you reckon that Easter Bunny will find you here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show?
I hope.
Very good. You just be a good girl, play your cards right, and you never know your luck. Thanks very much, Tim.
Thanks, Kate. Well, beautiful to see our lovely exhibits. And we mentioned them when they first came into the arena. They led our Grand Parade in behind our ringmaster and our green coats. Of course, this is the New South Wales Mounted Police. And Lindsay Douglas and Stu Davies, they are the oldest mounted unit, not only in Australia, but the world. They were formed in 1825. And comparably in London, the New South Wales in the 1860s, and we have been running continuously here in Australia since 1825. And a little bit later on, the New South Wales Mounted Police will be performing their magnificent Sydney Royal Easter Show musical ride, and they have had an association here at the show. They have not missed a year since 1907, but in fact, they had their first completed performance in 1895, known then as the Drill and Sword Display. And then, as we said, the first musical ride was completed in 1907, and it is wonderful to welcome them here today. And of course, we bring conducting I suppose they're almost on patrol, because that's what they still do to this day. They still are out patrolling, but they are out there on a patrol of a different sort.